Welcome back to another edition of the Diamondbacks here on OOTP 23. As you can see, we are here on not opening day, spring training rather 2024. Here is what we are rocking with our spring training 60-man roster. Just going to scroll through these real quick. Ryan Nelson, you saw, was injured. He's just only out for like a couple more days, but this is when we rock him with here. We're just going to cruise through spring training, and then I'll cut back in if there's any injuries or whatnot, and also updating you on what the major league roster on opening day will look like. Alrighty, so we've reached opening day 2024, and this is what our team is looking like here. The 26-man roster on the pitching side of things, it is going to be a 6-man rotation here to start with the season, a strict order. Just 6 guys, always alternating spots, or always just going through their order. Sandoval, Gallen, Syndergaard, Muller, Sanchez, and Sampson. I wanted Sanchez and Sampson to get the last 2 spots because I felt like Muller earned it after last year. Obviously, we're going to have these 3 in it in Sandoval, Gallen, and Syndergaard. Muller earned it with his time with us last season when we picked him up off the waiver wire. And then Sanchez was so good in the bullpen, and he's potentially a solid starting pitcher. So I wanted to give him a shot in the rotation, while Kevius Sampson was just so good in the KBO last year as a starter that figured might as well give him a shot in the rotation as well. Plus, my scat thinks he's very good. And in the bullpen, Luke Murphy will regain his role as stopper like he was last year. It's Uceda, Frias, and Nunez in the 3 setup roles, 6th or later. Stefan and Groom in the middle relief roles as the righty-lefty duo at secondary setup roles. And then Brandon Pfaadt is in the bullpen as a long relief / middle relief man. Well, if we take a look at the hitting side of things, it's not too much different as you would think. It's Hedges catching, Kennedy at first, Bohm as the backup, Marte, Rojas, and Perdomo in the infield, Carroll, Garcia, and Thomas in the outfield. Burleson is DHing, and Bohm is the backup DH, while McCarthy is the 4th outfielder. Sosa is the main backup infielder. And if you're wondering why Burleson gets the DH over a guy like Paredes or Jackson, that is because they both got hurt in spring training. Jeremiah Jackson strained his hamstring. He still has 4 to 5 weeks left on his injury. And then Isaac Paredes has an oblique strain. He still has 2 weeks left on his injury. So we're at Alec Burleson here, the former ECU Pirate, who absolutely tore up AAA last year with Memphis, is getting a shot here as the everyday DH and seeing if he can cut it up here in the big leagues. I very much like the contact, the home run power, and the avoid K. We'll see if it translates to actual results here in the big leagues. And before we start the actual sim here, just a quick little check-in on where some of our prospects are here. Tamar Johnson, who we know was not great in high A last year, is repeating high A if he gets off to a hot start here. And I would check in, like a month or 2 into the season, and he's, really tearing things up. I would not hesitate to call him up the AA Texas League. If you take a look at his ratings, he's, not the best in AA, but ideally he figures things out in the Northwest League here, where he should definitely be able to figure things out, and hopefully he does. Blake Walston, who is no longer that highly touted of a prospect here, but still a decent control 2-pitch mix here, 2 other pitches that are league average, is going to be in AAA to start. He's the number 68 prospect, or the number 68 pitcher, rather. He could be a guy who comes up fairly soon if we do need an arm in the big leagues, although he is not currently on the 40-man roster, but he is in Reno to start the season. And then also Jordan Lawler is starting the season in Reno. He is a guy who I just want to see him perform in AAA, and once he does, I mean, even if Perdomo is playing well, Lawler's probably a guy who, if we go into like mid-May and he's just tearing things up in AAA, he's our guy. He's going to become our shortstop. Antonio Anderson, our first-round pick last year, had an all-time bad season in rookie ball, a 0 WRC plus. He is 18 years old as the season is starting, though, almost 19, and I don't want him to just sit there in rookie ball waiting all year long, so we are going to put him in A-ball here and see if he can get a full season in and hopefully figure his stuff out. But not the greatest sign when you get a 0 WRC plus in like 152 plate appearances. Davison De Los Santos, similar to Lawler, although not not the same. He is a guy who we have in AAA as a 20-year-old, almost 21 years old. Once again, a guy not on the 40-man roster. Huge power, though. So if he comes into AAA and he's just mashing home runs and he gets that home run power up to like 70 or something, I mean, he's definitely going to be a guy who could be looked at to be either a DH or a first baseman for us in the big leagues this season. We also have our man Jorge Barosa here, who is absolutely torn up both high A and double A for us in both his second season. So, like, in high A, he tore things up, came up to double A, wasn't that great at the end of that season, but then in 2023 was really good in double A, came up to triple A, wasn't that great. So I'm hoping that trend continues, and he just comes into triple A this season. He's absolutely on fire, and we've got ourselves a legitimate another outfielder that we have on our roster as a switch hitter as well. And since the top 100 prospects list has been published, we are going to take a look at the top minor league systems as we are not looking too hot. The 23rd minor league system in baseball. Our top guys are Termar, Blake Walston, and Jordan Lawler. Looks like those are the only guys we have on the top 100 list. Yeah, Jordan Lawler and Termar here in the top 100 batters. And then in the hitters, it is just Blake Walston. So yeah, we only have 3 guys who are top 100 prospects. But that's also because we have guys like Alek Thomas who have recently come up and, turned themselves into superstars. Corbin Carroll potentially going to put up a very good season for us this year. I almost forgot that I wanted to show the preseason projections here. They project us to be an 82 and 80 team, so above 500, slightly better than last season. Probably not projected to make the playoffs, I wouldn't imagine, at that record. Yeah, definitely with these other teams that are projected in the National League. And they also don't think we are going to have one of the top hitters or one of the top pitchers in the National League this season. So hopefully somebody like Alek Thomas or even Ketel Marte, who's somehow not on the top hitters list, is going to prove them wrong. Alrighty, well, I wasn't going to do an update for this because I thought it was just going to be like a week-long thing. Ketel Marte, a little bit ago, if I can even... Well, I can't seem to find it, but Ketel Marte has suffered a setback in his injury here. He's been on the IL for like a week with wrist soreness, and he just suffered another setback, or his first setback. So he's going to be out for like another week here. So while he's down in Double A, we made on the IL, I should say, we made a couple changes to the roster here. Michael Stefanich is up right now playing second base for us. Obviously not the greatest second baseman, but he's got a really good bat. So we've got him playing second base while Sosa remains the backup infielder. Because Perdomo's he's been fine as a shortstop, so we're leaving him in that role. And then also Isaac Paredes was very good in his rehab stint in Reno. So, or not very good, but he was fine, I guess. He was getting on base, hitting, just wasn't really slugging. So we called him up, and he's only gotten 24 plate appearances. Hasn't been very good once again, but I mean, only 24 plate appearances, so you can't really judge too much because I sent down Burleson to AAA. If we take a look here, he was not good. Through like 1 month, just wasn't hitting as the DH. So Isak came off the IL or the rehab assignment like right as that happened. So I figured might as well send Burleson down, bring Isak up to be the DH, and do the whole thing with Stefanich at second base. Great. Now we get another update that Ketel Marte is, it's going to require some time to get back to 100%. He will hopefully be ready in a week or 2 to return to action. That's, not what I thought was going to happen when I slapped him on the IL. I was trying to avoid something like this happen by putting him on the IL because I was like, oh, he's only out for like a week. It was like 6 days with a sore wrist. So I was like, oh, I'll just put him on the IL, be cautious. And he's suffering setbacks while on the IL because, of course, that's my luck. We are just getting a bunch of nagging injuries popping up. Corbin Carroll, back spasms for 2 weeks. Not ideal. So Corbin Carroll now going on the IL. Also, we just did it with Brandon Pfaadt because he had a mild hamstring strain that kept flaring up. So we slapped him on the IL too. Jeremiah Jackson's on his rehab assignments here. 7 games. He's been tearing the cover off the ball down there. I think we're just going to call him up right up here. So Jeremiah Jackson coming back to the big leagues. So we are here like mid-May, and we got a couple updates here. Antonio Anderson has actually been good in a regular A ball, or at least this week he was. He won Player of the Week. Definitely better than a 0 WRC plus, that's for sure. So good to see he's able to actually not be the worst player of all time. Well, Ketel Marte is back from his injury. I'm not going to bother with any rehab assignments, so we're just going to bring him back. And we're going to make a couple changes to the big league roster here. So right now I got Jeremiah Jackson in left field because he can play there. It's going to be a little bit rough while he learns it a bit, but he has the potential to play there. So we're going to put him there, get him some ABs. But I'm liking how Stefanich has been playing for us. Only 52 plate appearances, but he is just, 151 WRC plus. The guy just hits. He just flat out makes contact, finds a way to get on base. Definitely a scrappy player. So I want to keep him up here in the big leagues. I don't know if he's probably not going to start, but we are going to send down Isaac Paredes because once again, he is not hitting here in the big leagues. He just gets absolutely gypped with the BABIP. I don't know what the deal is with him, but I guess he's just never going to hit for us. So he's going to go back down to Reno. Or never mind, he's out of options. That's not great. Alec Boehm is not out of options, and he is once again not hitting for us, although, 35 plate appearances, a lot of them probably pinch hit and then just getting spot starts here and there. But, even when he does get a shot, he doesn't really do much for us. So he's probably going to go down to AAA as well because Buddy Kennedy has been fine. He's not walking, but he is hitting for power, and he's, basically one of the only guys who is hitting for power for us this moment. And Adolis Garcia here is not hitting even remotely close to league average, and he's being a pretty not great center fielder. So we're going to, and also his range dropped to 60, so we cannot continue to play him in center field. So we are going to waive and DFA him because he does not have any options. That is not Marte's spot in the roster, though. It's going to be Gigliotti's spot, as he's going to come up and play some center field for us in the big leagues. We're just going to go through with it. We are going to waive and DFA Isaac Paredes. Fortunately, he is not able to do anything for us, so I guess he's a quad A guy. All right, so here's what we're rocking with. We've got ourselves McCarthy playing left field. Stefanich is now back up corner outfield as well as second base. Ketel Marte's back at second. Jeremiah Jackson's DHing. Gigliotti is in center. While against lefties, it's Jackson in left. Stefanich DHing. McCarthy's still the fourth outfielder. Marte's playing second. And the lineups are a little bit different, but overall, just piecing things together here until we get our guy Corbin Carroll back in a few days, hopefully. Because as you can see, things have not gotten off to the best start here in the month of May. Negative 39 run differential, just a disastrous start here for this D-backs 2024 team. I also mentioned that Perdomo, if he, even if he was playing fine, I would call up Lawler if he's been good. But unfortunately, if we take a look at what Lawler's done, he is down in AAA, not performing whatsoever. So he is not a guy I'm trying to rush into the big leagues here. And it's not even, maybe he is bored. Maybe he is bored with his role. He's definitely, He's definitely unhappy with his role on team, expects to be playing in the major leagues here. So maybe he would be a guy that comes up to the bigs here and performs better. Oh, also, I have gone back to a five-man rotation. It was Sanchez who was the odd man out because he was so bad in the rotation in 6 starts that I put him back in the bullpen because he was such a good reliever for us last year that I felt like he's the obvious choice to go back to the bullpen here. So let's make sure we set his position back to reliever. As I talk about Jordan Lawler, he has himself a 5-hit game against the Salt Lake Bees. Very interesting. Bumps his WRC plus up to 85. Maybe he's about to turn a corner down in AAA. I'll probably take another look at him once we get to the draft here because we are like a couple weeks away from that, and then I will reassess our shortstop position in the big leagues. So it is one day before the draft here. We just played our June 4th game, and Darian Nunez is out for 4 weeks with forearm tendonitis, which is not great. Also, Jay Groom is on the IL with a sprained elbow with an unknown injury time left. Things are just not going well here for the D-backs in 2024. We've already played the day games. Let me just sim up to that tomorrow because it's the first-year player draft. There we go. Jay Groom is back, so we can just immediately bring him back from the IL. But like I said, things not going well. So first of all, minus 56 run differential, 22 and 39. We are just not looking good at all. Already 26 and a half games out because the Dodgers and Padres are having phenomenal seasons here in the NL West. Take a look at our pitching. A lot of not great happening here. Zach Gallen, I mean, he has been awful here through April and May, as we are now here into June. Just not good whatsoever. The FIP is, I guess, fine. Yeah, basically like a league average FIP, but I mean, just a really, really bad ERA. He might have to go to the bullpen here. Kyle Muller, also a guy who just really hasn't been good for us this season through 11 starts. And luckily, Sampson's been, I guess, okay enough. But I mean, where's the strikeouts, man? I signed him because he was striking out so many people, and he's just not striking out anybody here in the big leagues. 6 Ks per 9, 5 walk per 9. The K per 9 doesn't work. Or this 5 walk per 9 doesn't work if you're also not striking out a ton of guys, and he's just not doing that. Luckily, Syndergaard has been good in his 11 starts. So has Sandoval. He's on pace for 3 WAR. You know, he's been he's been a league average ERA plus exactly, a little bit better in the FIP. So, you know, I'll take that. You know, I expect a little bit better, but I mean, I will definitely take that, especially compared to Gallen and Muller and Sampson. And we are going to make some changes here to our bullpen and pitching staff. Luke Murphy, unfortunately, has been really bad here as the stopper. He has not been able to continue what he was last year for us. So he is no longer going to be the stopper here. Edwin Uceda has been really bad. You know, his ratings have always been like, or at least what my scout thinks of him has been always been like a little bit worse than he performs. So maybe he's just kind of fallen off here. Also, he is a reliever, and those guys just tend to you know, fall off a cliff easier than other positions. So Uceda here is going to go down to AAA. If we take a look at Christopher Sanchez, like I said, he was really bad as a starter. He's been very good as a reliever. So we are going to keep him in the bullpen like we had. And I believe that he's actually going to become the stopper now. So Luke Murphy's probably going to like drop back to middle relief. 8th and later for lead for Sanchez. Murphy is going to become like a relief with like a setup secondary. Frias and Groom. I'm thinking what's going to happen here is we're going to take Muller out of the rotation. And maybe Gallen, maybe not though. I don't know. I'm hoping he can turn things around. I believe Groom is going to be one of the guys we put in the rotation here. We traded for him thinking that he could move to the rotation. He has proven that he's been good in the bullpen for 2 seasons now. He's eased his way in, so let's see if we can change him to a starter here. Yeah, doesn't drop too much. He's been good, so let's move him into the bullpen. Or the rotation, rather. We're going to leave Gallen in the mix for now, but I think we're going to leave Sampson there for now as well. But I mean, if we get to like July and he's still not really turning a corner, let's take a look at what his splits have been. Yeah, he's slightly been getting better. He's been trending upwards here with the ERA plus and downwards with the FIP minus. So who knows? Maybe he'll start to turn a corner here in the rotation. But if he continues to not be great, I will be taking him into the bullpen. And I believe we're going to keep Gallen in the rotation as well for now. And we are just going to rock with these guys in the bullpen. So Frias is going to be a setup. I'll probably go with Stephan here as a setup guy along with him. And then probably, I have no idea. Or no, we can call up somebody. I think we're going to find a way to get Calvin Fauché on the big league roster here too. If we take a look, he has a 1,000 ERA plus through 20 innings in AAA. So we're going to call him up to the big leagues here. He's going to come up and pitch in Arizona. And we're also going to send somebody else down. Kyle Muller is a guy who has no options. So I think we're just going to leave him in the bullpen because we need some lefties up here anyways. We're going to send Ryan Nelson back to AAA just because he's pitched 17 innings in the big leagues here this season. Hasn't been that great. But we're just going to send him down, bring up another lefty from AAA. And that lefty is going to be Blake Walston, who has been good here in AAA in his 11 games, split between the bullpen and the rotation. He's going to be in our bullpen. So he's already got experience there. He's going to come up and hopefully be a decent reliever for us here as a lefty. Well, if we take a look at how the bats have been here through through June 4th at June 5th, Alec Thomas has been good. Buddy Kennedy has been good. He's currently on fire. He's got 13 home runs, leads the team. Ketel Marte's been good. He's back from his injury. Corbin Carroll's been about league average. He's definitely, much better than he was to start last year. Very confident that he's going to be a very good player for us. As well as everybody else, not so much. Geraldo Perdomo, not been, great. He's been fine. Defensively, also not that great as a shortstop. Josh Rojas has really fallen off a cliff here. He was pretty good for us in back-to-back seasons, and now here in 2024, he's just not doing well. BABIP is basically the same as it was last year. He's just not performing like he was. Austin Hedges has actually been decent at the plate here. 84 WRC plus, already a 1 WAR. I will definitely take that. His framing runs, he already has 5. He's fine. His catcher area, I'd like to see a little bit be a little bit better. This doesn't seem like it's helping our pitching staff as much as I would like it to. Gigliotti has not hit here in the big league since coming up, but also a small sample size. And he has not been good in center field either, which is not good to see. And then also Jeremiah Jackson, despite what my scat thinks of his ratings as a guy who should be able to hit very well, is not hitting very well here for us here in the big leagues. But I feel like I have a tendency to give up on guys a little bit too fast here, so we're not going to give up on Jeremiah Jackson from, a combined 200 plate appearances between 2 seasons. But as we can see here, Jordan Lawler is currently on fire. He's got his WRC plus up to bat league average here. If we take a look at his splits, yeah, he's been on a tear in May, taking it into June here as well. He just had a really bad April to start, but he has been on fire ever since. So I think Jordan Lawler is going to come up to the big leagues here. We are going to send down one of our infielders. I'm thinking it's going to be not Perdomo, but Sosa. Sosa is going to be the odd man out here. He does not have any options. I don't believe so. Yeah, no, out of options. So we are just going to waive and DFA him, open up a spot in the 40-man, get him off the roster, and we are going to be bringing up Jordan Lawler from AAA. So boom, here's what we're rocking the big leagues right now. Jordan Lawler is now our everyday shortstop, hitting 7th against righties, and then flipping with Rojas, hitting 6th against lefties. I mean, he could be a very solid player for us. Maybe he's the spark we need here for our bats. And our team just all around has not been great this season. One of the worst teams for scoring runs, one of the worst teams for allowing runs. I mean, things have just not been going well. We're hitting a, I guess, okay average, but I mean, none of this is looking good. We're not base running well. We're not getting on base. We're not hitting home runs. We're not getting hits. We're not just nothing with hitting, middle of the pack at best, and then with pitching also just nothing, middle of the pack at best. It's like, we're not walking and we're striking out like an okay number of guys. Alrighty, it is June 5th, and it is time for the first year player draft here in 2024. So we have the number 17th overall pick this season. According to the OSA mock draft, they think we are going to take shortstop Bryce Clavon, who I do like his contact avoid K quite a bit. If he's there, I would definitely... Never mind, he's impossible signing. He's probably just going to go to Wichita State, so he's not a guy we're going to be taking 17th. I do see my man Tommy White here. Tommy Tanks from NC State, transferred to LSU, I want to say in real life. I feel like he's one of the 3 billion guys who are transferring to LSU this offseason or committing to LSU. Also seeing my man Rock Riggio here, one of my favorite players from the regionals this year with Oklahoma State. But we are going to we are on that screen. We're just going to hop straight into the draft here and scroll up to the top here. Sort by potential, and let's just see who the Angels take first overall here. They take Kassan Evans, who is a very expensive high school shortstop, as you would expect, but low leader, low work ethic. Probably not the greatest pick there, at least for the personality-wise. We are just going to auto-draft until pick by Arizona here. And Peyton Stovall just went before us. From Arkansas. I do know who that is. But we Lots of, here's a pitcher who can also hit a little bit, but he's not gonna, I don't like taking pitchers first round really at all. So let's just sort batters here. Yeah, I mean, there's a catcher. Who does our scout think we should take? The scout thinks we should take the catcher, which is, like high work ethic, high intelligence, 75 potential catcher. OSA thinks he's even better than my scout does. He only wants like the average for the slot. Uh, pretty hard to pass up somebody like that. There's also Slade Caldwell. I thought that was what am I thinking? Isn't the center fielder for UNC in real life named Slade? I really like the high work ethic, high leader, high intelligence, very good defensive player. Really, really like the eye discipline paired with the contact. Obviously, never going to hit home runs, but I mean, he is a very, very intriguing player. I just feel like we can't pass up this guy because he's, playing a premier position. Not that like center field isn't a premier position, but I mean, he's a catcher with high work ethic, high intelligence. Could be a really good hitter too. Good enough catcher. Think we're just going to go with him, Ariston VC here. Draft a player. That was 17th overall. So let's move on to our next pick here. And our scout thinks we should take here in the second round Aiden Davis, who is a power hitting third baseman. Can play some first base too, some corner outfield as well. He plays the corners. Low leader, that's what we know about him. But, not the biggest demand. He does have some serious pop here. We've also got somebody like Griff O'Fallon. What a name. High adaptability, low greed. Probably more of a second baseman than he is a shortstop. Not even third baseman with just a very average arm. But I do like the hitting. I like the hitting. 21 years old, out of Virginia. I've never heard of this guy though. He's real, but I've never heard of him. Has a great name. Like the height, like the contact potential, like the eye, like the avoid K. Once again, never going to be a power hitter, but I mean, he could be a very solid second baseman. Maybe be like a left fielder for us, but I mean, second base, left field is basically what he is. Maybe we might take him. I mean that it's just his ratings stand out so much. But our scout thinks we should take this big power hitter. Bryce Clavon, who's the impossible guy, is still here. Christian Hamilton is interesting, a switch-hitting center fielder from Florida, committed to University of Miami. Once again, good contact, eye discipline, and Void K combo here. Probably not the best center fielder of all time unless this range does improve, which I'm not really sure how often something like range improves as a guy develops. But definitely has the potential to be a center fielder for us. Has some speed to his game, too. You got this other center fielder, Cameron Davis, who's a big, sort of three true outcomes guy. Like, he's going to have below average contact and avoid K, but I mean, he could have really good gap power, home run power, eye discipline, really good speed. I mean, he is a very, very intriguing player. I like his stuff a lot, to be honest. Because, I mean, we need power. I feel like we definitely need more power in the organization. He would add that. But, I mean, so would Aiden Harris, but he's also just a corner infielder who can maybe play some corner outfield, too. And I'd rather have the guy who's like the big boomer, not even boomer bust, just the three true outcome center fielder here. So I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with Cameron Davis in the second round. So we are now here in the third round. My scout thinks we should take Hank Pfeiffer, who is a pitcher from Concord, California, committed to Long Beach State. Low work ethic, low intelligence high school pitcher. No, thank you. Griff O'Farrell is still here as a bat. He's probably who I would take if I go bat here. Drew Downs might be interesting. Once again, like the hitting, high work ethic. But he's probably just a corner outfielder. I mean, Griff O'Farrell's just a second baseman here, though. So, I don't know. I feel like he's, I don't know, probably either Downs or O'Farrell if I go bat here. Maybe Colt Myers. He's first baseman. Let's see who's here for the arms. So, draft arms, pitchers. Yeah, Pfeiffer's the best potential-wise. But, somebody like Zach Swanson here, low work ethic, impossible signing, no thank you. Carlson, basically already developed. I mean, he is just like, he could just go, I mean, he's almost 23 already. He could just go straight to, double A and just be there. And also, I guess he was drafted last year and didn't sign. That's weird. Is there a way to? Yes, the Cardinals took him in the 5th round and they didn't sign him. So now he's back in the draft class as an overager here. While Michael Flores is a lefty from Long Beach State, who is also quite developed here, has a good curveball changeup, never going to have a good fastball though, so he's never really going to be a starter. While Carlson here just has an average changeup to go with his good fastball curveball. I mean, they're both really teetering the line here of ever being able to be a good starter. Alex Galvin, once again, 2 really good pitches, nothing else really to go with it, like these from New Jersey. Louisville, classic Louisville. They love getting guys from cold weather states and just developing them and turning them into Southern baseball players, quote unquote, is what they like to do. Get a lot of guys from like Chicago and the Northeast and have them hit the weight room. And by the time they're like juniors, they're just like studs. That's what Louisville's team is, baby. I thought this guy's last name was Castiglione, and I was like, classic baseball nepotism, baby. But it's not. It's just Cagliano, Caglianon, whatever the hell is Jack. That's his name, Lefty Jack. But not really interested in him either. He could have 3 really good pitches here, but never going to be able to really control or have any good movement, or even the stuff's not that great. I'm looking at these pitchers because I feel like I need to take a picture, but I mean, I'm like looking at all these guys and like none of these guys are interesting to me. Like none of these guys stand out as like somebody I need to take. Like Max Carlson's probably the one I'm the most interested in, and even him, I'm just like not really that interested. Just sorting by outfield range here, I'm seeing this. I don't like any of these guys, these 70 range guys, quite yet. I mean, they're not really, like high-end prospects here at the 70 range, but this guy at 65 range down here, Tommy Hawk, like the contact, the avoid K, around average I. Once again, I mean, a lot of these guys, these high contact avoid K guys are never going to hit for power, but center fielder out of Rake Forest, good 65 range, not a great arm, high leader, high intelligence, do like that. Looks like he can even play some second base. I guess he played that for Wake a bit. But he's definitely an interesting player. I don't know if I'd take him here, but he's definitely somebody on the radar here. I feel like I'm either going to go Drew Downs, who's probably the better overall hitter, but he's more of just he's like just left field and right field. Whereas Griffo Farrell could be like second base and then also left field. I don't know. We're just going to go Griff. We're going to Griffo Farrell just here for his name. Griffo Farrell from Virginia. Then we're going to auto draft here until our next pick. And our guy thinks we should take a first baseman who stinks. I mean, this is a guy who plays for Tennessee. I've never even heard of him. Oh, so I guess he's a pitcher. Okay. But even then, he's not great. 40 stuff. I mean, he's going to have one good pitch. No, thank you. Do not want James McCracken on my team. But I am seeing that Tommy Hawk is still here, so he's probably the guy who stands out to me. That is the guy we are going to go for here. Columbus State University. I'm assuming that's a JUCO. It's not a JUCO. I've never even heard of that school, but this guy is here, available. But yeah, I would say that Tommy Hawk is the go-to guy here, unless we go to the arms. And like nothing's really changed here. And the guy that I was interested in is no longer here, that Carlson guy or whatever his name was, so I'm not really itching to take a starter here. I mean, Zach Swanson, yeah, I looked at him before, and he's committed to Oregon State or whatever that was. Was that Oregon State? Yeah. Committed to Oregon State, does not want to come to the pros yet. CJ Culpepper, from California Baptist. I mean, college guys are. I like the college pitchers because they're developed quite a bit, but I usually take them later in the rounds and not like, as my fourth round pick. I'm going to take this guy, Maverick Rizzi, whatever his name is, from Worcester Academy, committed to UConn. He's going to come play for us, though. Right-handed pitcher. Looks like he could have some, once again, high school guy, though, but he could have some good stuff, movement. Could have 4 good pitches. We will see if that all develops, but definitely the highest upside here, I feel like. So we're going to take Maverick. Also, he has the high leader, work ethic, all that good stuff. So we are going to take him here in the 4th round. And then we're going to go up to the 5th round. None of these guys are standing out to me, so we're going to go back to the bats. No, we're sorting by potential. Go back to the bats, and Tommy Hawk is still here, so we are going to take Tommy Hawk from Wake Forest. Bada boom. And once again, now in the 6th round, my scout thinks we should take this shitty first baseman, shitty pitcher combo guy. He's a two-way guy, but he's bad at both of the ways he can play. This draft class is definitely a bit weaker than the other ones, at least from what I'm seeing so far. But outfield range guy Reed Eason. I mean, I like the range. He's basically fully developed already, though, at a Tallahassee community college, and he's got low work ethic intelligence. So I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. I'm thinking we're going to go with Isaac Bhutan, whatever this guy's name is, 23. I mean, he's almost 20. No, we're not going to take. He's almost 24. Like, what? And he hasn't been drafted before. Okay, so he was not drafted in 2 previous drafts and keeps returning to college. And now he's, like, fully developed as a guy who's, like, a very league average hitter with good work ethic. But he's not a great defender. He's, doesn't really have a true position. Second base is really where he's going to end up. But, I mean, he's a guy who I would have taken, like, the 15th round. Not, what are we in, the 6th? Yeah, the 6th. I'm not taking him here. Like I said, this draft class definitely not as deep as the other ones have been, so, like, these potential ratings don't really matter to me much anymore. Like, these are all below average potential ratings, but I mean, I'm starting to just look at like contact potential, and even then, nothing really standing out to me. There are some big power. Cameron Bagwell. I'm just going to take a wild guess that city of birth, North Carolina, doesn't stand out to me as like a Jeff Bagwell's kid. He wears number 7, though. Maybe it's Jeff Bagwell's kid. I'm not thinking of taking. It's just standing out to me because every single pro's son is now getting drafted, and every media person is like, oh, how cool is this? I like this Carter guy's avoid KI at league average hitting, but I mean he's bad defender. I mean he's an average defender at best, I should say. I mean none of these guys really stand out to me as anybody I want. So I might just have to start like. Maybe getting like college pitcher. First of all, are there any? Let's just see like vice versa things. Are there any arms who are listed as batters? None that really like stand out. I'm clicking on Bagwell accidentally. This guy from Mount Royal, New Jersey, committed to UNC. That's another school that scouts New Jersey pretty well. Yeah, he's I guess he's fine as a pitcher, but. Not like gonna draft him as a pitcher. Kemp Alderman's a name I've definitely seen a lot. Like he used to be pretty highly touted, but he's not anymore. And now, are there any bats who are listed as pitchers? Not really any that jump out to me. Tag Andrews can maybe hit a little bit, play some like corner outfield. Maybe. But I mean, it doesn't really stand out to me. Like this guy, good gap power. Has 0 positions. Cannot play anywhere in the field, so he's useless as a position player. Brady Davis. I mean, he's got the gap power and the eye, but I mean, it's like average. Not really. I mean, none of these guys stand out to me as somebody who I like should be like jumping out of my shoes here to get. Boston Bateman's a great name. But I'm not really interested in taking him. I like this guy a little bit. Obviously, already quite developed, almost 22 years old, out of Troy. Has he been passed over before in a draft? Yeah, it looks like he was in last year's draft and was not taken, but it looks like he's improved a little bit this season. Control's never going to be really any better than that, but I mean, he's could potentially have some really good stuff. Movement, three pitch combo here. I do not like the extreme fly ball. Don't like the low leader intelligence, but I do like the high work ethic, low greed, and I mean, the extreme fly ball can work if he gets his movement up to 65. But if his movement stays around league average, he's nothing more than a reliever. But I mean, we are so strapped here in this class that it's just like it's really down to like the bottom of the barrel here already in the 6th round. Just taking like college guys who are already developed. So we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna take Brady Fuller here in the 6th round. Then in the 7th round, my scat thinks we should take this 5'9" lefty who's never going to be anything more than a reliever who throws just a junk ball reliever. I mean, that's definitely a cool like thing to have in modern baseball, like a 5'9" lefty who just throws curves and changeups and has just like a subpar fastball. I'm just screw it. I mean, we're not nobody else is standing out. Might as well just take this guy, Michael Flores, who's right here at the top. Boom, we'll take him. Now my scat thinks we should take this starting pitcher, or definitely not a starting pitcher. Two really good pitches, but I mean this stuff's never really going to develop to the point where even you can really use those pitches. So that was the Louisville guy from New Jersey. Luke Barrow is interesting. Coastal, go Shants, baby. Super low control, two really good pitches, good stuff, possibly some above average movement to be developed. But he is just straight up a reliever here. I mean, we would be taking a reliever in the 8th round, which, I mean, we are starting to get to the end of it here. But do I really want to take him right now? I could probably get him in a few rounds, I feel like. And then if I ask my scat for a batter, he still wants me to take James McCracken. I'm not taking this guy. OSA thinks he stinks. My head scout thinks he stinks. Why does he want me to take this guy so early? I'm thinking we're going to take this outfielder from Vanda here, lefty guy. Could be a league average bat with some good avoid K, high intelligence, really good base stealer. Can possibly play center field for us. So Christian Smith is going to be our pick here in the 8th round. We move things on to the 9th, and our scouting director thinks we should take the New Jersey to Louisville guy once again. I mean, maybe we get him at some point, but I'm just trying to like look at some of these like fielding range guys. Like I would take Reed Eason, but I mean it's just that work ethic intelligence really scaring me away because he could really be a really good defender. I'm also seeing this Caleb Ketchup guy from Georgia. 22-year-old, high adaptability, good speed. Infield range and error, not that impressive, but his outfield range is actually a 65. So he could actually play some like center field. I would definitely be playing him in center as opposed to, second base. I do like at least getting like 2 catchers per draft class, and there is this guy who's got the high leader, work ethic, intelligence, 60 catcher ability. Not the most highly touted catcher, but I mean he would be good for handling any arms we bring in. Or there's even this Ethan Anderson guy who's got the high leader, high work ethic, not the intelligence though, and he could be a decent power hitting catcher. So I might go with him instead. But Melendez is interesting as well. And if this Ethan Anderson guy ends up not being a great catcher and turns out to be like a really good bat for for whatever reason, he's actually a guy who could definitely play some first base for us as well. Screw it, let's just take this guy. 9th round, Ethan Anderson, catcher out of Virginia. Boom, taking him. Then we move things along here, and then I believe we're just gonna pull the trigger on this guy. Reed Eason, I don't even care about the work ethic, intelligence. We are just gonna take him right now. Boom. Now we're here in the 11th round. My scouting director thinks she should take this outfielder who I'm not really a big fan of. So I think I'm gonna go back-to-back rounds with these guys, Galvin and Barrow. So Galvin is the New Jersey to Louisville guy with the 2 really good pitches. Boom, we're gonna take him out of Louisville, move things along to the 12th, and Barrow gets taken. God damn it. Waited too long. We got this guy though. Don't like the greed intelligence. from Mississippi State, lefty. Could have 3 really good pitches, some above average stuff, not great movement control. Because of that, probably never going to be a top end starter guy unless something really miraculous happens with his development. But once again, we are drafting in the 12th round here. So let's just take him. Cole Cheatham is going to be our pick this round. We're also going to take this Jacob Pennington. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's almost 25. Maybe now we won't take him. What the? He's gotten passed up in every draft class. I mean, he's basically already developed pitching-wise, has 4 above-average pitches. Control could be decent. Great leader, low work ethic, though. And the thing about him is he could possibly be an okay bat, too. But, I mean, he's almost 25. This has got to be a glitch. This guy's 31? What? He's real? So he's 31 currently, and he was drafted in 2021, did not sign, then was not drafted, passed up again last year, and now he's back in the draft class at 31 years old, and he's real? I don't understand. But if we were to go arm here, this Isaiah Jackson guy's got the best stuff out there, according to my scout. 3 really good pitches. We don't know anything about his personality. He could actually be a okay, not really. I don't know why I'm saying okay, but he's got hitting ratings. But I'm thinking we might just take him and hope something happens. Also, he's got the funniest ad of all time. That real person whose ad is his first name and then 17 numbers at the end of it. Or there's somebody like Cody Adcock from Arkansas. Still has to develop the changeup, but the fastball slider combo is already very good. That's true. We're just going to go with my biases here. We're going to go with the Northeast baseball guy who went to Maryland, 23 years old, 3 good pitches, possible decent stuff. David Falco going to come to the D-backs organization. We're going to go pitcher again here. I think we're going to go maybe... Yeah, sure, why not? We're just trying to get guys who could possibly be something for us. This guy from Houston. My scout thinks we should take Trey Gibson, starter from Liberty. Absolutely not. We are going to take this guy despite his low leader because he is from Sudbury, Ontario, which is, I believe, that's where the new Shoresy show takes place. I've seen a few episodes of that. Also, he's Quebecois, baby. Right-hander with the most... French name imaginable. It's even got the accents on it. So Cedric Dagde, I'm not even going to attempt, but he's the guy we're taking here in the 15th round. In the 16th round here, I believe we are going to take Daxon Swenson here. I looked at Carson Page, but he's could be a league average hitter with a void K, but he really has no position. Really a DH. Just really bad defensively. He might be a guy we take later on, but right now I'm looking at Daxon Swenson because he's got high work ethic, high intelligence. Also not the best defender, but he could maybe play some like second base, left field, maybe even first base, but I mean probably not with his power. But he has the high work ethic, high intelligence, so we're going with him here as the shortstop guy from Utah. And then 17th round, he's still here, so might as well. Carson Page, the guy who can possibly hit and avoid Ks. We're taking him. Move things on to the 18th round. My scout thinks we should take Mason Brassfield. Possible, like, 3 true outcomes. Lefty, high school guy. Sure, why not? He's a bat. We'll take him. Honor what my scout wants. Move things on to round 19 here. We got a high work ethic, avoid K. Never going to do anything else. We are going to take this first baseman who could possibly have some serious pop here. He's committed to Southern Miss, but he's a high school first baseman here. Like I said, possibly has some serious pop. It's the 19th round. Who cares? Take him. Move things on to the 20th round. My scout thinks we should take Tucker Bougie, whatever his name is. We are going to be taking Julius, whatever his last name is, 5'8", infielder guy, could possibly be a shortstop, probably more second baseman though, but could possibly have some decent eye, avoid K here. So he's going to be our 20th round pick out of Tampa, Florida. And boom, that is our draft here in the 2024 season. And we just easily went through and offered all these guys the demands they wanted because they were all very much reasonable demands. So we just gave them what they wanted, and all these guys will soon be signing with our organization here.